So how do you know if you're qualified for the H-1B? You got selected, but your company is small, or your position is unique. It doesn't quite fit with the company, or your education and your job doesn't exactly match. That's why we're making this video. We're gonna talk about all the different arguments off the top of my head that I've used in the past. We've done literally thousands of H-1Bs. Let's go. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Tsang and Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. So the legal problem is, how do you prove that you qualify for this specialty occupation under the rubric of the H-1B? You can see the requirements online. There's generally 4 requirements. You want to meet at least one of those 4. Well then, why don't you try to meet all 4? So the first thing is, what does the position require on the Occupation Outlook Handbook Manual? This is the government resource that directly analyzed your position, and it said it requires a bachelor degree. Well, that's what you need to prove, right? So start there. If the position that the company is offering you doesn't show up or doesn't require a bachelor or master's degree, see if you could change a position, right? Sometimes the company wants to hire you because of you, not necessarily for the position. So if they're willing to change it and find a different position that meets the H-1B requirements and they can move you to that position, internal transfer, then that's possible, right? So think outside of the box. Secondly, if the OOH doesn't spell it out because it's a very old manual, it's outdated, well, look at other postings. Look at Glassdoor, look at Onet. There's just so many websites that talk about each individual job description, field, requirements, so you can use that as a resource to prove your position requires a bachelor degree. Then look at all the job posts for this particular company, because they're not just hiring for your position, and they're not just hiring now, this month. They've been hiring probably for the past decade if they've been around, and they probably hire many different type of positions in many different channels, on their WeChat, on their own job bulletin board, on their internal emails, talking about who they're trying to recruit. Find all of those. Now, obviously, you as the person being hired won't have access to everything, but a lot of things are online that you can actually dig up. So if you can find previous postings to hire for the same position, and they've always required a bachelor or master's degree or a PhD degree, then, well, you kind of fulfill that requirement, because you show the company has always tried to hire somebody from a bachelor's degree because the company needs it and you have it, and therefore you qualify. So do a little digging if the HR is not willing to put in the work that it requires to get your case to be super successful. You can help yourself. But let's say the company's never hired a position like that before, or the company is really new, so they don't have actually previous employees. Well, what about their competitors, right? Within the same geographic position, other companies of similar size, who have they tried to hire on LinkedIn, on Monster, on Craigslist, on Facebook? All their postings, if everybody else within the same industry all hire somebody with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a PhD, and you are doing the exact same thing, well then if everybody else does it, then surely your company needs to do the same thing and you qualify, so therefore you can do the job. But that's where it's really helpful to have a professional account on all of these job sites, right? Whether it's Monster, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's One Stop, because you will be able to have access to research and find all these key information, because your argument is you want to show USCIS this job, this posting is normal to the industry, and the USCIS officer, they don't know. They're just going by what's presented to them and what the government website says. If the government websites don't clearly show it, then the burden of proof is on you to furnish all the evidence, right? So if all of that fails, you resort to the last argument you can possibly make by saying this job in this industry, in this company, and this position is so unique and complex. Even though everybody else don't need a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a PhD degree, but they need it. And this is why, and spell it out and explain. Because sometimes it is unique. Sometimes everybody else, every other paralegal doesn't need to have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a PhD. But somehow, maybe your paralegal position, working with key partners on an international level, requires a master's of law degree. It's different because of the things that they need to do. If you can explain it and if you can prove it, well, that also qualifies for H-1B. But that's much harder, and generally USCIS doesn't like to see it because it's just so much argumentation with documents. And again, they're giving out basically one-off exceptions. What's really key is you don't want to just make an argument saying, look, they need it, therefore I have it. You also want to link it to your specialty, right? So What were the classes that you studied? What were the transcripts? What were the books that you read? What skill did you gain so that you can do X, Y, and Z? What did you learn? What capability do you have? And how does that translate into the workplace? Go back to that, write it out, prepare your statement with everything else, and that's how you increase the likelihood of your approval. I know everything is on the line. If you get your H-1B, you can stay here and eventually potentially get a green card. I know it's really important. So here's all the different ways, and hopefully that helped you to prepare your case better. Take care. Bye-bye.